Order. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Filarski, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is roll call. Mr. Moran is here. Mr. Rathel's excused. Mr. Mans should be arriving soon. Mr. Filarski?
Here.
Mr. Hornby?
Here.
Mr. Tenova is excused. Mr. Porcerelli? Here. Next item is the addition or deletions to the agenda, and we have one addition under our action item. We have an item to approve a lease for J.G. Morris. So with that addition, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Motion by Mr. Hornby.
Second.
Support by Mr. Porcerelli to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of the minutes of the April 18th, 2022 meeting. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at that.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Mr. Porcerelli, supported by Mr. Filarski to approve the minutes of April 18th, 2022. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is our financial report for April 2022. And we have our financial report in front of us that reads our current budget is our revenues are budgeted at $978,581. Our year-to-date revenue is $89,440, which equals 8% of our budget. Our expenditures are budgeted at the same $978,581, and our year-to-date encumbrances and expenditures are $34,015, which is 3% of our budget. Our capital reserves as of April 30th are $492,064, and our past due rent summary as of May 10th, 2022 is $31,386. With that, Janelle, is there anything you'd like to point out in the financial report?
So I would like to just update the lattice recouping. We are currently just around $25,000 in monies that he owes us. We are in the process of moving that forward with 33rd District Court, just waiting for a summary from the attorney to tell us what our next steps would be. Any questions with that? Are we good there? And then
I have one question. How long has it been since you haven't heard from him, or did you already do this? Like
from
Mr. Sorty?
he had sent me an email on Friday
Oh, okay.
to let me know where we were with that.
Okay,
Okay?
thanks.
Yep. Hi.
Janelle, can you give us an update on Sideline and Stanley Associates?
Yes, so Stanley, I have been in conversation with Jeff Forrester, and he actually has a group of people coming to clean that building out on Saturday, this Saturday, May 21st, so that'll be all cleaned out. They should hope to have it done this weekend. If it carries into next weekend, it should be in a position to be able to rent that out the 1st of June, get it cleaned up and get that back on.
And what about their past due rent?
So from what I'm understanding is that they're not gonna be, I don't think that they're planning on paying us anything. That was my understanding. So at this time, they owe us $6,500.
That's how many months worth of rent?
That is 10 months. 10 months worth of rent.
And then Sideline, what's the update with them?
So the update with Sideline is we haven't received a payment since April 1st. Then they paid the back due rent of whatever $10,000 it was to catch them up to April. I've been trying to communicate with her, to sit down with her, and I have not heard anything, so I believe there was a 7-day notice to quit that was taken to the court today by the attorney.
And then that needs to be issued to
That'll be
sideline.
issued to sideline, and then from there, it'll be the same process that we went through with Lattice.
Is there any other questions on the financial report?
Yeah,
Mr. Hornby?
can we revisit Stanley for a
Sure.
moment? I'm wondering, in a case like this, there was a death, really, right? I mean,
Exactly.
rather than your normal court proceedings, is there such a thing as making a claim against the estate? I mean, is that a township attorney thing? I mean,
I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would need to be turned over to the township attorney for advice as to how we go about trying to collect that 10 months' worth of rent. Any other questions on the finance report? If not, I'll entertain, oh,
can I ask another one?
sure.
Looks like we're off to a tremendous start with expenditures at 3% of budget when it could be something close to 8. I'm just wondering, using the fuel farm as an example, and we've talked about that previously, it looked like, pricing might be an item of concern, and there might be a net loss in that department, and so we're off to a very profitable look to the first month, and I got to question timing issues in accounting, and is there anything that's being missed there? I didn't see any product purchases hitting the expenses. I just saw wages. Nothing matching up with product sales, and
I'm assuming, Janelle, it's just a timing issue that our expenditures are that much less than our revenue, and it's just because things haven't hit the books yet as it relates to expenditures.
Correct. So I think that that's going to be a timing issue. So I think that next time we order fuel, that's going to change as well.
It typically evens out during the year, so on any month that we might either be behind on revenue or behind on expenses, it usually catches up in the next month or two. Anything else, Mr. Hornby?
no, not now. Not for now.
There's no other comments or questions. I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial report. Motion by Mr. Filarski,
Second.
Porcelli. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. The next item is the manager's report. Item number 1 is an update with taxiway A. Janelle?
So I would like to update, so the TDG2 validation for the 35-foot taxiway has been approved and is moving forward. I had a meeting with MDOT and CNS last week to get a time frame for what that process is going to look like moving forward. So as it stands, so July, they're looking to be 60% complete. In September, they're looking to be 90% complete. And October bids, so they're looking for a deadline for bids for November, and construction process beginning in 2023 for that now. So that's the update there from a time frame standpoint. Any other questions with that?
Questions on taxiway A? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 2, which is Island Fest.
So we've been working hard coordinating with the rec department, the Grosse Ile Fire Department, Grosse Ile Police Department, DPW, and the maintenance staff. Parking, obviously, with Pirates Cove has been a big concern and question for the residents. We think we figured it out. I don't think that there'll be an issue with parking from what we feel from the amount of people coming. So that is exciting. With the fireworks coming, we're expecting a lot of people this year for the Island Fest. So I think upwards of 7,000 people or something. It's going to be a big turnout this year. So
So the people that typically park where Pirates Cove development is going on are going to be parking where?
They're going to be parking here, right here is where some parking is gonna happen, all along here. And then they're going to be parking across the street. So the maintenance staff has been working with the rec department because the soccer field, there's a soccer tournament happening that weekend. So we had a tractor, we cut the fields down over there across from the soccer fields currently. They're planning on parking the soccer people over there, which opens up the other parking for the other people across the street.
Okay.
But you
They
don't
seem
want
to-
them,
They seem to think they have it figured out.
you don't want them on your property in the, I call it the median, it's not really, it's the island part in the middle. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't want them there because they'll ruin the lawn there. You don't want that. I mean, good. I can ask tomorrow night. I was gonna go to the police commission meeting, but, since the police will be in charge of the parking, but it's gonna be tough. That's all I'm gonna say.
So
You
the
don't want your-
police will direct people where to park?
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah.
do it yeah, we've done it that way. I'm hoping they still do. It can't.
No,
I didn't mean it that way. I meant, no, I'm hoping they do something. I mean, I know they've had some issues there, but I hope they still do this. Cause you don't want your property, torn up. You know, so when people don't have places to park, what they're gonna do is, can I ask you this?
Sure.
Can you call Doug Carmack tomorrow? Ask him, you guys figure out this is what you want. I'm not trying to tell you what, this is what I did to save your property, is I put no parking in that island, because they can jam a lot of cars in there and they can ruin it fast. When I say ruin it, damage fast. And ask him, can he put the no parking signs again in what area do you call that, between Grow and the service drive, the median area, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, would you have time tomorrow to go over there and show me exactly what you're talking about?
Do you want me to call him?
Well,
I'll do-
yeah, we can,
I'll just call him, because I'm at school every day.
oh, yeah, but I'm here
I-
and I can meet you whenever, but yeah. I'm happy to
I-
go over there and figure it out.
Yeah, well, I just have to tell them that it would be nice, can you still do that? And I'm not, I mean, I hope so, because you don't want your property ruined. Because that's a 750 approximately car lot, that one over there, that we don't have, or that they don't have. And so,
The
The Pirates
current
Cove?
Pirates Cove is
yeah,
750
I figured
cars.
out about 750 cars.
So those cars are gonna have to be relocated somewhere.
And
And
it-
Janelle, you think that they've
Everywhere.
told you they've got it figured out?
That's what we had a meeting about it, and that was what I understood, is they had it figured out, and they do direct the traffic. So if
Yeah.
there's another concern and we need to readjust, then.
How about I'll give him a call, and again, no, I'll meet you anytime, I just have to, I mean, I work every day at the school. So, I'll give you a call if that's all right with you, gentlemen, and
Sure.
I'll just make sure, I just don't want your property ruined.
Any help you can give us and
Yeah.
help direct where
Help,
these
yeah.
750
Because what
cars
happens
are
is
gonna
if they
go?
don't find a spot, they find a spot. And once they're there, unless you tow 250, 300 cars, they're there. That's my point.
Well, it sounds like, is there a towing issue? I mean, it sounds like they tow a lot of cars.
No, we didn't.
In the
we-
past?
We never used to tow, because I used to put up no parking where I put them where I want them, not I want them, just being the chief, where I wanted them to be, and I didn't have them where I didn't want them to be, and it worked out pretty good, and then it went awry a couple times, after I left.
Well, it seemed like they had a pretty good grip on it.
Good.
Okay.
I mean, that was,
Just-
it seemed like they had a pretty good grip on what worked and what didn't work, and how to direct traffic, and how to avoid getting people stuck.
Good.
But if you wanna have that conversation.
Let me call them if it's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Let me
Yeah,
call them.
absolutely, but it did seem like they had
tomorrow.
a good grip on it.
Yeah, again, I want to protect the property here.
Any other comments or questions on the Island Fest?
It's a little bit out of our scope, but, yeah, I was just wondering if they had shuttle buses or, you know, anything like that.
They didn't have the funding for it. There was conversation about shuttle buses. I mean, I said, well, why can't we just park down at Meridian and have people walk? But there was, you know, an issue with that for, you know, whatever reason. So I had recommended that. I don't know if that was something that was ever been discussed.
Seems like they could use school buses to shuttle to Meridian School or something. Again, that's.
It wasn't part of the budget. That was what my understanding was. The Rex budget.
I think I'd rather let the experts that are traffic control people and parking people decide what to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, it's out of our
they
scope. That's.
seemed like they had a really good handle on it.
Okay.
Like, okay.
That's fine. All right, we'll move on to our item number 3, which is Pirates Cove update.
So I spoke to Brandon in regards to what his time frame is for accepting applications for the storage units across the street. It looks like he's going to be accepting storage applications sometime in September. And I think my question for you was, were you able to, you guys decided on what you were going to pick for the limestone wall?
No, nope, we
nope.
still need to do that.
You still need to do
and
that?
and we probably should get that decided this week.
Okay.
So, if anyone has any suggestion, get it to Janelle. Just to reiterate, they've got some spots that are sort of blanks in the wall on Midway that they are asking us if we want to put a plane or whatever. They take that photo or logo or whatever we want, they take it to the people that do this in limestone, and they cut it out of the limestone. And so whatever we want within, you know, reason as it relates to the airport or the Commerce Park, they're willing to do that. So I talked to Brandon last Friday about it, so he's just waiting for us to get him whatever we want.
How many do we get?
I was gonna say either 3 or 4.
3 or 4, I
Yeah.
think, is what it was. We have suggestions, and I can email those and over.
Yeah. Why don't you email those out
I
to
will.
us,
Yep.
Janelle?
Do we have a deadline for when we want to respond by? Just
I think it needs to be Friday,
okay.
so. And while we're on the subject of Pirates Cove, I did meet with Brandon a week ago on Friday, and he is going to do the wall that's on the east side of Midway. That's part of our landscape plan, and it's roughly a 30 by 7 foot wall that will say Commerce Park on it in lettering. He's not doing the lettering; he's just doing the wall. We met with his brick mason, went over the plan. Janelle, you got the plan to him, or you're going to?
I dropped it off.
Okay.
So I took it physically, just dropped it off over there, the one you left on my desk.
Yep.
Yep, just dropped
And
it off.
then this past Friday, I met with Sohail from Rains and asked him if he would stake it out where the right location, because there's easements and things we got to worry about. So
Okay.
he's got that on his list of things to do.
When would that be? When is that going to be? What's the time frame with that?
Don't know. Brandon seemed to be thinking he'd be ready to go as soon as we got it staked out. I'm thinking we probably shouldn't do that until after Island Fest. That would be the best time. So I would guess,
Okay.
you know, end of June, it'll be staked out, and then it'll just depend on how long it takes Brandon to put that up. And I guess while I'm on that, I also met with Matt Scott from Scott Landscaping, who gave me a proposal to do the landscaping around the wall that was put on the master landscape plan that we had, and then also for the entrance of Hangar 2. So I think that'll be on our agenda for next meeting.
Did you have so are you planning on doing around that sign over there in front of Hangar 2 as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That was part of it?
Yep.
Okay. Then spruce that up a little bit?
Yep.
Perfect.
After we did the blacktop improvement there.
Okay.
Finally. It's only been about 4 or 5 years. So, anything else on Pirates Cove update? Hearing none, we'll move on to our action item, which is a lease approval for J.G. Morris. And we have a resolution in front of us that reads, based upon the recommendation from the Groseal Airport Commerce Park Manager, the Groseal Airport Commerce Park Commission hereby approves a lease between J.G. Morris and the Groseal Airport. The terms of the proposed lease agreement are listed in the history, purpose, and explanation section of this resolution, and that reads, they are leasing an industrial space located at 27502 Meridian, Unit 1000, and 2 offices located at 9505 Grow Road. J.G. Morris is an established downriver general contractor that has been in business for over 50 years. They have been in their current office for 15 years and are very excited about moving their base operations to the Groseal Airport. And the term for the 27502 Meridian is starting on May 17th with an expiration of November 30th, 2023, which is a lease length of 18 months with a 1-year rental of $1,500 a month, equaling $18,000 a year. And that equates to $9.17 a square foot. The 9505 Grow Road is starting on May 17th, 2022, and is expiring on November 30th, 2023, and that's this length for 18 months as well, at a rate of $550 a month, equaling $6,600 a year, and that equates to $13.26 a square foot. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Mans. Support by Mr. Filarski. Is there any discussion?
The 9505, it says the length of lease is 12 months. Is that supposed to be 18?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Any other
Oh, I was
questions?
just gonna ask, what exactly is this property at 27502 Meridian?
Building 63 across the street. Yes. Yes. Mhm.
Questions? Hearing none, we have a motion by Mr. Mann, supported by Mr. Filarski. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is subcommittee reports. We have none tonight. Janelle, you got to get that closed session out of there. Take that out. Next item is the manager's report, and the only thing I wanted to bring up is, Janelle, we need to put together a marketing plan to start marketing Skyline and the space that Stanley's are moving out of, and any of our other spaces that we have available. So can you put that together and maybe present that to our next meeting to us?
I will do my best, but I think in order, before we can have so do you want a marketing plan for just Sideline and then the other vacant spaces, or all of the, everything?
I'd
So
like
we
an
have a-
overall plan that we're gonna market whatever space we have available. And if there's one space that seems to be more marketable than the others, and that can be put together or presented first, because, you know, it might be the best opportunity,
Yeah.
that would be fine too.
Yeah, I think we might have to break that down into sections, because I think I think there's a couple of other opportunities out there where there's some vacant land that people call in for to store, like their RVs or their boat storage, just some other storage, outdoor storage that people are looking for. So I think there may be opportunities over where we have Pirates Cove storing their dirt over that way.
Mhm.
I think there might be some land there, but I don't know exactly what the square footage is, and I think we're gonna have to talk about what we're gonna look at as far as pricing this available space.
Well, that was gonna be my next question is, I know, one of the things that we need to do is look at all of our rental rates and start deciding if they're market, or, you know, do we need to raise our rates, or just, get our arms around sort of what's the current market rate of you know, what we should be leasing all of our properties out, any of the ones that, you know, are becoming available.
Yeah, so I've been working with getting specs to the buildings. And there's, in order to get a precise square footage, they're not as readily available in the township as where it breaks it down like a field sheet. So I'm working on that with Tim downstairs, the assessor office, so I can get a field sheet, so we can get how many square feet are in each building as well, and then how many office spaces are available. Greg and I have been working on some of that stuff as well.
Okay, good. Any questions for Janelle? That's all I had under my report. Next item is public comment. We have nobody in the public tonight, so unless there's any other open business by anyone, Janelle, you've got an
Yeah, I
item?
just want to bring up one thing. I know that the last meeting we had discussed the T-hanger lease. It did go to the attorney. It came back. He had his memos on it. There's a few little changes that need to be made. We should be able to get that rolled out and implemented in the next week or two. So
And the rental rates for those, have they all,
it's
it's been determined?
it's been determined.
Good.
Awesome.
So those new leases would be starting to be signed when? What's our target date for that?
June 1st, I have a list of people already that are ready to come in, sign new leases. And so I'm hoping by June 1st, we should be able to have that out.
And I think the other thing that, sort of getting back to our rental rates, is we also need to look at the length of lease, because I know we have a number of people over the years that have been on month to month, and I think we need to start, you know, converting those into at least at a minimum a year rent term. So, I mean, that's all part of, I think, when we look at the rates, we can also determine what the terms need to be on any of these that are month to month.
Any of these that are month to month, and I'd like to make a recommendation and maybe re-evaluating the lease agreement, not for the T-hangers, but the other lease agreement, and make sure that, you know, we take a look at that again, maybe.
I think every so often we should review those and update them, because I don't want to just keep using the same lease just because we've always been using it. It needs to be updated. Okay. Anything else? If there's no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Filarski,
I'll second
supported by Mr. Mans to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries.